Here's a question that trips up beginners. What's the difference between dot notation and bracket notation for accessing object properties? The answer reveals a fundamental concept about how JavaScript handles property access. Let's start with the basics. Dot notation uses a literal property name directly after the dot. You write user.name to access the name property. Bracket notation uses a string expression inside square brackets. You write user bracket quote name quote. Both access the same property, but the key difference is that dot notation requires you to know the exact property name at the time you write the code. Here's where bracket notation shines: dynamic property access. If you have a variable holding a property name, bracket notation lets you use that variable. You can write const key equals name, then use a bracket key. This is impossible with dot notation. It's incredibly useful when you're iterating over properties, building dynamic queries, or working with user input to determine which property to access. Bracket notation is also required for property names that don't follow JavaScript's naming rules. If your property has spaces, special characters, or starts with a number, you must use bracket notation. For example, user bracket quote first name quote or user bracket quote 123 ID quote. Dot notation would throw a syntax error in these cases because these aren't valid JavaScript identifiers. So when do you use each? Use dot notation when you know the property name ahead of time and it's a valid identifier. It's cleaner and more readable. Use bracket notation when you need dynamic access via variables, when your property names have special characters or spaces, or when they start with numbers. Both notations are equally performant, so choose based on your use case. Remember, dot notation is for static, literal property names, while bracket notation handles dynamic access and special characters. Practice both patterns and you'll know exactly which one to reach for. Hit subscribe for more JavaScript interview prep. Want to nail questions like this in your next interview? Interview Mentor gives you hands-on practice with real questions. Every answer gets a grade with specific, personalized feedback. Track your progress across topics and difficulty levels.